What's up, gamers? In this video I will show you 20 essential Viper lineups on both defense and offense that I have found and tested within the last 2 days on Icebox. This video is going to feature snake bites, smokes, and even OP ult spots. I'm not going to waste any of your time, let's get right into this. If the enemy operator plays on this little bridge between the B holes and the crate, and your teammates find it hard to flash him, or maybe you guys don't have any smokes left, well then this Viper lineup might save you the round. First of all, you get on these 3 barrels, making sure there's nobody up close that could kill you while you're lining this up. Then find the bright star on top of the yellow line to the right of the 2 other stars and do a regular throw. This smoke lands right in the middle of the bridge, isolating the player and making him either push back into the B holes or push up front, where it's much easier to punish him with a wallbang through the crate wall, and he has no exit if he misses the shot. The smoke is also great for delaying the rotation through B holes and making sure you can plant in time. You can also combine this smoke with a snake bite by tucking yourself in the corner of this cubby and putting your crosshair at the bottom left corner of this red lamp, so the middle gap of your crosshair is on the black spot. And by doing the regular throw, the snake bite is gonna land at the same exact spot, delaying anyone who's rotating through B holes. If you regularly get killed from a player in this position while you're planning a default, or maybe your enemy even plays behind a green with a shorty or a shotgun, well then you gotta know this lineup for the snake bite and smoke that isolates the right side of the default plant and allows you to plant as soon as possible. Tuck yourself in the same corner on top of the 3 barrels, and then find these 3 stars that form a triangle. Then put your crosshair right in between of the 2 top stars, and do a regular throw. This lineup doesn't have to be pixel perfect, either way this smoke is gonna land to the right side of the default plant. As you can see, there could still be a person behind the green one hiding in this little cubby who could peek you later on and catch you off guard. In order to isolate him, do the snake bite. Line up your crosshair with a little star below the red light, and then go up so the middle gap of your crosshair is at the bottom of this light. And then once again, do a regular throw. This snake bite is gonna bounce off the white crate and give you a sound cue if it hits someone hiding in this cubby. Just make sure you have a teammate watching your CT if you're playing at default. If your team is preparing a B-side execution and you already cleared all the close corners, that little cubby, and the spot behind the gray crate, then you can do a CD smoke from the same spot on top of the 3 barrels. Tuck yourself in that corner, then put your crosshair on top of the first black line and find the brightest star in the sky. Then go to the left and find the smaller star. All you have to do is put your crosshair in between of those 2 and go just a tiny bit down. This one doesn't have to be pixel perfect either. This smoke lands between the bomb side crate and the tower, blocking vision for anyone hiding at the lower level or coming from Snowman. There's also a gap which you can't avoid, but you can use it to your advantage and kill anyone rotating through the snow pile. When you're planning a default, just make sure there's a smoke or a molly to your right, and also if none of your teammates are playing this gap to the left side of the smoke, someone has to watch it. This spot is called default for a reason, because if you plant to the left side of it, you're going to be exposed to Snowman, and if you plant ahead of the green box, you're going to be exposed to anyone who's coming from mid. So 90% of the time you're gonna see the spike being planted here. We can delay the defuse by using our snake bites. First of all, as soon as the spike is planted, fall back and make sure there's nobody flanking. After that, get on top of these 3 barrels and make a jump to this wooden box. In order to make this next jump into the green crate, you have to crouch in the end of the jump to extend it. This post plant position gives you a nice off angle onto anyone flanking from garage, and you can easily kill them by having a crosshair placement advantage. You can also hear if the enemy starts defusing the spike that is planted on the default position from here. Line yourself up in the middle of this black bar and go directly up from the left edge of this white rod. You're going to see these 3 stars that form a triangle. Now in order for the snake bite to land directly on the default plant position, you need to go up from the first star and put your crosshair in the middle of these 2 stars. Then just click mouse 1. This snake bite is going to cover the entire default unless the spike is planted exposed to Snowman. Keep in mind that it takes about 5 seconds for the snake bite to land, so you gotta throw it ahead of time. There's also an easier version of the snake bite by you being more exposed. Stand in front of this line, place your crosshair in the middle of these 2 wires just a little below the metal gear, and click mouse 1. This snake bite bounces off the black part of the crate and lands on default in about 5 seconds as well. You can use this easy one way to hold B-side by yourself. Just look directly down and line yourself up with this crack on the snow. Then place your crosshair at the edge of the green crate and go directly to the right until your crosshair is in the middle of these 2 folds. If the smoke lands anywhere around this area, it is going to work as a one-way, as long as you're playing at the left side of the yellow crate. Anyone coming from here is not going to see you even if they crouch, and if they're coming from this side, the enemy would have to wide swing and you would be able to see their legs much earlier. Just remember to play on this side of the yellow crate. Now, in order to do a mid-boiler smoke from the attacker's spawn, you have to do a jump throw. If you already know how to do this technique, you can skip to 605. For those who don't, I'm going to explain real quick. As you can see, the jump throw technique allows you to throw your smoke or a snake bite much further. In order to throw it as far as possible, you want to press mouse 1 while you're at the highest point of your jump, which is about 1/3 into the jump. If you throw it too early or too late, it's not going to go far enough. Here you can see the distance difference between the perfect jump throw and the one that you do too late. You can practice this in a custom game and you'll get it pretty quick. The reason why this particular smoke is really useful is because it allows your teammates to take mid control while you could flank either of the sides. So what you want to do from the start, as soon as you spawn, is find this line which directs you into the middle of the ramp. Then take out your smoke, look directly down, line up with the middle mark, and just hold W. You can start walking as soon as you get on the ramp, or walk from the start in order to line yourself up with the first horizontal line on the ramp while looking directly down. Then all you have to do is find these two mountain tops and use them as anchors. By the way, you're better off putting your crosshair just a little higher than lower. Then do the jump throw, and as soon as the spawn barriers go off, activate your smoke. If you did it correctly, there aren't going to be any gaps to the left or to the right, allowing you to take mid control and push into the B garage as long as mid pallet the smoke too. Now I'm gonna show you some defense retake lineups. If you're the first one rotating from mid or A, you can do this easy snake bite. Just find this little star that's to the left of the bright one and do a regular throw. This snake bite lands right on the bridge and prevents your enemies from pushing into the B holes after planting. This smoke lands between the snow pile and the B side crate, allowing you to retake much easier. Hug this wall on top of the B hut and look directly down like this. Find 3 stars that form an obtuse triangle and throw the smoke at the top star. It is going to bounce off the roof and land here, allowing you to retake through B orange. Now it's time for some OP ultimate spots. If the spike is planted anywhere at the lower floor of the B side crate, this ult can guarantee you the round win. Get on the second floor, making sure there's nobody up close. Stand on the edge of the crate and look directly down while crouching. This ultimate is going to spread just a little bit on the second floor, giving you a little cloud in which you can hide. Since the entire crate is wallbangable, you can easily kill anyone trying to defuse the spike at the lower level. Trust me, nobody is going to think that this little glob is intentional, and unless your gun is sticking out, they're not even gonna think about shooting it. This next B-side ultimate is also really strong for a post plant, and it doesn't have to be pixel perfect. Just stand above this floor intersection, making sure you're covered from both sides, and aim your Viper Pit circle to the right and above the next intersection, so 2 of the left spear tips touch the middle line. This ult is going to spread all over the second floor, B holes, delaying the rotation, and also making a waterfall by the snow pile, allowing you to wallbang the diffuser from there if the spike is planted in the crate. You can also use this waterfall as a cover from where you can always recharge your ult fuel. There's also a pretty powerful spot from where you can play around this ult. Jump onto this metal plate and make a second jump into this box. Here you're covered from B orange, snow pile, and bridge. You can use this spot to wallbang anyone trying to defuse the spike at the upper level of the crate. The only spots from where you can be killed are snowman or bottom crate level. The only disadvantage of this spot is that you can't recharge your ult fuel from here. There's also a really cool ult spot on A side which is extremely useful if the spike is planted between the generator and CT nest. Put your back against the generator and look directly down. If you did it right, your screen is going to shake a little bit. With this Viper ult, you can play on top of these boxes and recharge your ult fuel when needed. If someone tries to cross from T-nest to CT-nest with a zipline, you can get an easy kill on them, and if your position is disclosed after that kill, you can always hide behind the generator, or just stay on top of these boxes waiting for the diffuse sound cue. Now I'm going to show you how to use your Viper utility to play aggressive on defense, in this case by pushing A main with the lineup you saw at the start of the video. This strat can be especially huge on the save round, where you don't have much to lose and only need to spend 400 on the smoke and snake bites. In order for this play to work, you need to have a teammate with a flash go with you. First of all, look directly down and line up with a 90-degree angle on the floor. Then put your crosshair in the middle of this black and white intersection on the wall and deploy your wall. Then get on top of this box and look directly down to line up with a corner. Both snake bites and the smoke are going to be thrown from this position, but you need to do the double snake bites beforehand. This strat is going to work only if you do the snake bites first and the smoke afterwards, and have your teammate push up to the ultimate orb as soon as the spawn barrier goes off. For the first one, put your crosshair at the edge of this gray square on the ceiling and throw it as soon as the round starts. Do the second one right after by putting your crosshair like this. These snake bites are going to land next to each other for a reason. The thing is, if the enemy pushes right after his spawn barrier goes down, the first snake bite might not hit him at all, but the second one is going to do multiple ticks of damage as well as apply a vulnerable and separate him from teammates waiting out behind the snake bites. This allows you and your teammate to push to the left side of the T-nest and flash through your wall here. Even if Jet, for example, dashes through those snake bites and goes up the nest, she's going to be walled off, and if your teammate's flash is good, you can kill everyone in this area or flank if nobody comes to A. Well, you might ask me, but there's a huge gap in heaven from where enemies can kill us both. Right, that's why I throw a smoke there from the same position on top of the boxes. Right after you deploy those two snake bites, activate the wall and your teammate with a flash starts pushing up, take out the smoke and quickly go up this middle line on top of the T-nest. This lineup actually has to be pixel perfect, and just so you don't fail it in an actual game, I recommend practicing in a custom game first. Since your crosshair is different than mine, just make sure that the center of your crosshair gap is at the intersection of the horizontal plank and the shadow below it. Then do a jump throw. This smoke is going to just barely touch the top of this arch and land on the edge of the heaven, blocking vision for your enemies. Of course they could just make a jump from here, but even if they don't fail it from the first attempt, your wall is going to force them to wide swing in order to see you. This is going to win you some time to maybe even push further and flank them, but if you hear any noise on A belt and you already killed enemies coming through A main, I advise you to turn around and watch for an enemy trying to kill you in the back. If the enemy operator plays in front of the screens and you find it hard to kill him because he falls back or dashes away after the shot, well, you can use this easy snake bite to safely cross into the site. Come through A main and jump on top of the second vent from this box. Then look directly down at the scratch and put your crosshair on the edge of this black wall where the blue and gray background intersects. Then do a jump throw. This snake bite will damage anyone holding the angle, and it even spreads on this little step. The only exit for the enemy player here is to either fall back or push up front, from where it is much easier to clear him as he has no back out and doesn't have any cover to jiggle your flashes. If your teammates already pushed past the ult orb and you're sure there's nobody that could kill you from or behind the CT nest, you can deploy this easy snake bite which delays the rotation and also allows your teammates to take better post-plant positions. First of all, align yourself with this little black line on top of A heaven. Then, put your crosshair above the CT nest lamp where white and grey walls intersect. Then do a jump throw. This snake bite will land right on the Rafters entrance, and even if defenders try to bunny hop through it, they will take at least a few ticks of damage. You can also combine that snake bite with an easier one that lands behind the screens. Just tuck yourself in that corner and put your crosshair where the grey wall intersects with the ceiling. The snake bite bounces off the nest and lands right in the entrance. Just make sure that you throw it before anyone gets to the screens, and this is what it looks like when you combine those two. I really hope that you found this video useful and are going to use some of my lineups. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to do Sova lineups or Cypher setups on Icebox, or maybe even some other map. Thank you for watching and see you soon.